Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, bringing you a grand solar minimum update on Tuesday, May 1st, 10:57 p.m. Mountain Time 2018. April temperatures are in. The UAH satellite-based temperatures, the global lower atmosphere you're looking at, and we're just 0.21 degrees C above the 30-year running average. Same temperatures back in the 80s. We're getting colder. And that's a fact, Jack. Let's look at the April temperature departures for North America. Record departures here in southern Minnesota. 13 degrees, 14 degrees below normal. Whew, that is a chilly spot on the map. Probably not good for growing. Here's the article. The Midwest and Great Lakes just endured a historically cold April. I showed you the blow up there. The upper Midwest and Great Lakes states are known for their long, punishing winters, but a normally cold April made 2017-2018 version seem endless. Temperatures some 8 to 14 degrees below normal averaged over the entire month, resulting in one of the most frigid Aprils on record in the Dakotas, Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, and Michigan. Temperatures ranked among the top 5 coldest during the month in most locations in this region, including Minneapolis, Milwaukee, Des Moines, and Chicago. That is chilly. Many locations received an abnormal amount of snow. Both Minneapolis and Green Bay, Wisconsin notched their biggest April snows ever between the 13th and 16th. It's the coldest and snowiest April on record in the Great Lakes. Here are some specifics. I don't know if you guys are ready. Chicago had its 4th coldest April on record. It dropped to 32 degrees or lower on 16 days. Minneapolis had its 4th coldest April on record. Its 26.1 inches of snow were the most ever, exceeding April 18, 1983's 21.8 by a ton. Milwaukee had its 5th coldest April on record. Madison had its 2nd coldest April on record, just a 1/10 of a degree above the coldest average temperature set way back in the centennial minimum, 1874. Its 13.5 inches of snow were also the 2nd most on record in April, all the way back to 1973's 17.4. Meager. Green Bay had its 2nd coldest April on record, just 2/10 of a degree above the coldest average temperature of 35.3 set back in 1907. Man, what happened back then? Solar activity was on the decline. That was the centennial minimum. Cycle 14, which looks astonishing like cycle 24. Indianapolis dropped to 32 degrees or lower 14 times. The most ever. Now, Radiant Solutions also has some more anomalies for the month, including Minneapolis at 10 degrees below, the 4th coolest, and Oklahoma City at 6.6 degrees below normal, 2nd coolest. A couple cities coming in close to the record warmest there, Phoenix, LA, Tucson, El Paso, as would be predicted. Climate, after all, is a system. There's the geopotential for the month. Brutally cold. Because such a large portion of the lower 48 was under the influence of cold weather pattern during April, more than 6,500 low temperature records were set compared to just 2,200 highs. And that's the truth. And a boom. Man. Record April cold and snow. Heads up. Where are we? Buffalo, New York. We're saying goodbye to April, which ended up being one for the record books with cold and snow. Buffalo tied 11th place for the coldest April on record at 39.2 degrees, 6.7 degrees below normal, and it was the coldest April in 75 years up there in Buffalo. As for snow, it was in the top 20 for April on record, coming in 18th with 6.9 inches of snow, 4.2 inches above average. But more impressive is the fact that 50% of the days in April in Buffalo had snow. Record cold month of April, Mid-Michigan. Congratulations, Mid-Michigan. We officially had the coldest, or one of the coldest months in April here in Flint and Saginaw ever. And that's cold. Beating 1950 and 1975. Yes. And tying 1944 and 1943. All about the same, 41 to 30, 39.1. That is cold. Great Falls Tribune. Brutal winter takes its toll on Montana livestock. We know we only have 2 articles left. We're not pieing. It's calving season for the record books. It was very brutal, said Rose Malisani, extension agent for Cascade County MSU. A lot of people lost a lot of calves this winter. Heads up, Montana. Record snow up there. Bristol Mountain. This is in New York. Where are you guys? Rochester. Skiing in May for the first time in 54 years. You would think it's May 1st. Skiing and snowboarding would be impossible, but not this year in New York, thanks to Al Gore's predictions. Tuesday, people got in one last run at Bristol Mountain. It has never happened before. Did you hear that, Al? Hundreds of people came in to enjoy the snow and barbecue. They had a barbecue and they skied in May. It's surreal, said snowboarder Greg Werner. It's been an up and down all season. February was getting some green patches, but the fact that it's May 1st and we're still on the slopes has to do with the grand solar minimum, the modern eddy minimum, and the fact that the sun is diminishing and in the next decade should reduce its output by up to 5%. That's just a low estimate, folks. That means they'll be skiing into July in a few years. Let's look at the blown up UAH satellite-based temperature of the lower global atmosphere. And here is the data point. Boom! Whew. That's another one. Yes, it is. Let's come to the GFS model and walk it through. We're going to get some heavy snows down here in the southern Rockies. Much needed over the next 3 days. Look at the snowpack build. Heaviest snow potential up there north of Fort Collins, Steamboat, up into southern Wyoming. Could be 2 feet of snow in the mountains there. Could be awesome. And then as we head into the middle of May, eastern Canada is going to get storm after storm after storm. Heads up, eastern Canada. That's the snow bomb. Let's go over to the Weather Ready Nation map. We are Weather Ready Nation ambassadors. We have severe weather warnings throughout most of central Iowa, including heavy thunderstorm warnings. And we have tornado watches here in northeastern Kansas, just getting over here into Nebraska. Red flag warnings throughout New Mexico here in eastern Texas. Winter storm warnings for the Four Corners area in the South San Juans, as well as on the border there where I just told you about in northern Colorado and southern Wyoming, as well as what appears to be here throughout central Arizona. Winter storm warnings and watches. In May. Winter storm watches in central Arizona in May. Al. Jesus. We have a lot to cover. It's going to take hours. Reports, tornadoes reported in Kansas, Nebraska, and severe weather outbreaks continue into early Wednesday. Heads up, live radar. We were just talking about this on the map. You can see these heavy storms developing here in northern Kansas here. Watch out. Northern Iowa, southern Minnesota, all through central Michigan here. Whoa, where did... Damn, that's amazing. Let's go see what he has to say. Oh, here's a blow up. 11 p.m. right now, Tuesday. Severe thunderstorms are tracking across the same area in northern Kansas, heightening the risk of flash flooding near the town of Wells. Over 3 inches of rain has fallen. Whew. Man, look at the purple in there. That's amazing. Clay Center, you got destroyed. Wakefield, send me pictures. There probably was big hail or something. That's amazing. Oh, baseball-sized hail tornadoes reported in storm sweep across Nebraska. Whew. Heads up. It's not even... Oh, storm drops hail, spawns tornadoes near Doniphan. Don't get hit in your noggin with that. Governor seeks federal assistance for 36 counties in wake of flooding because of record snows, thanks to Al Gore's predictions. High water surrounds homes in Lake Station in February. Al Gore hiding in his condo. Flooding stretches along New Brunswick St. Johns River. Kayaking is at an all-time high. Walmarts are sold out. Water over road danger. Local residents return from checking on their houses using kayaks. Floodwaters were expanding their reach Tuesday and washing through several communities along the St. John River, stranding residents, soaking basements, and making islands out of homes. And billions of dollars for Walmarts all around the Canadian region. Canyon flooding mudslides kill at least 100, Red Cross says. Can you say cholera? Let's do a seismic update. We have a moderate uptick worldwide. Here we have some moderate activity in Hawaii. We'll talk about it real quick. 5.2 Kota Ternate, Indonesia. 5.1 Huanlin, Taiwan. Probably rattling some nerves in that region. We have an uptick on the west coast in the moderate range. 3.3 San Clemente, southeast tip. And just south of the state border here, 3.3 over in Mexico. We have a frat quake here, 3.4 in Poth, Texas. Another frat quake shocking off in Tucson, Fairview, Oklahoma. Who'd have thunk it? Heads up. 5.2 Fiji. Up at the surface. That is that after that blot echo here. Another 4.7 at depth. And a 5.9 at depth. So we could see some more major activity in the Fiji region in the next 24 hours. Space weather is quiet. We'll quick look at the KP as we finish up the video. And this white screen then turns to activity on the Hawaiian volcano. That could indicate a new eruption. There's been uptick for months in Honolulu, a series of earthquakes and collapse near the crater floor at the Pu'o'o vent in Hawaii's Kilauea volcano could trigger a new eruption of lava, officials said Tuesday. Here you see the collapse. So as that boom goes down, caldera will fill and we'll get a new fracture or maybe a new lava flow. Scientists from the USGS Hawaii Volcano Observatory said the seismic activity over the past 24 hours could lead to a new breakout on the east side of the Big Island. U.S. geologist Janet Babb said similar activity has been recorded prior to previous eruptions in the area. So, Pu'u'o'o vent is inflating and becoming pressurized, which will lead to and eventually a boom, which is the truth. And that's a bomb. And that's a boom. All right. Whew. So much to consider. Worldwide volcano news. Reventador, volcanic ash not seen. Sabancaya, volcanic continuous emissions of steam, intermittent volcanic ash. Abico today erupted at this particular time. Volcanic ash reported. We also have Merapi Volcano, Sakurajima, Swanosima. Now Merapi added to the list. Boom! Truth bombs coming. Here is from the Global Smithsonian Watch. Merapi, classically eruptive history at VEI2. And it erupts a lot and frequent. So this is going to be erupting. And unfortunately, there's 50,000 people within 10 kilometers of this volcano. So if you're near there, move away. Lowest ever winter temperatures predicted for Victoria. This is coming from David Taylor, who believes a cold blast is just around the corner. I am predicting there will be parts of Victoria that will record some of their lowest ever winter temperatures and other parts that will be well below normal, the amateur long-range forecaster said. Now, I spoke to David yesterday, and he has agreed to come on our radio show tomorrow night, which is a super boom, because we need to get the truth out there, and he uses the sun to predict the weather. I think he might be a little confused about CO2, but we'll get his point of view on that tomorrow, and we're going to have a great scientific discussion, see his point of view, and we'll give him our point of view. If he decides to back out at the last minute, Leah is going to talk about the book she's writing, and we'll talk about how she is bringing together all the cosmic cycles into one primer for the layman. And that's a boom. But I hope David Taylor shows up tomorrow night, and we'll have a great discussion. Now, this guy uses sunspot activity, and the Earth's climate has never been proven, but he believes, as we do, that sunspot activity is at its lowest since the 1600s, Mr. Taylor said. Sunspots will stay at their lowest for years and will not be active again until 2025. According to David, we're going to talk to him and tell him what our predictions are, and maybe we can open his eyes a little bit. So that's quite interesting. And hopefully David Taylor comes on the show tomorrow night. Dave, if you're listening, it'll be awesome. I promise. Sunspots vanishing faster than expected. This is coming out today, Dr. Tony Phillips. Some sunspots are becoming scarce. Heads up, very scarce. So far in 2018, the sun has been blanked almost 60 times. I'm sure you guys have heard it. The predictions that they've made are way off, and it's dropping off faster than expected. In fact, here, 60% of the time. With the whole weeks going without sunspots, and let's come to the graph. Solar cycle 24 is declining more quickly than forecast, announced NOAA's Space Weather Prediction Center on April 26th. This plot shows the observed sunspot numbers in blue versus the official forecast in red. Let's blow it up. You can see the last data point just coming in a week ago is on the floor. Now, guys, let's real quick do some comparison analysis. The last solar minimum, when it got to this level here in May of 08, lasted for a year and a half. So about the maximum minimum lasts about a year and a half here in the last cycle. This one should last about 2 years. So we're going to hit the floor here and be on the floor until 2021. That's a heads up. I'll leave you links to the article. The smooth predicted sunspots number for April-May 2018 is 15, says NOAA. The actual monthly values have been significantly lower. Significantly. Here's 15, and we are at 2. Official forecasters of the solar cycle come from NOAA's Solar Cycle Prediction Panel, a group of experts from NOAA, NASA, the U.S. Air Force, universities, and other research organizations. They have been convening at intervals since 1989 to predict the timing and intensity of solar max. The problem is no one really knows how to do it, except the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and others. The most recent iteration of the panel, 2006-2008, compared 54 different models. They don't use the historic record, though. That's really sad. So that's a big heads up there. They've been wrong before, and they'll be wrong again. What are cannabis terpenes, and what do they do? If you don't know about cannabis medicine, guys, it is the future. There is unlimited potential in the curability of all diseases using cannabis medicine, because cannabis does not cure any ailments. What it does is it brings your immune system back into homeostasis, and you cure any illness or disease that you have. So that is the beauty of the cannabis medicine. It is a pure natural plant product. It is the safest plant on earth. It has never caused one fatality, ever. None ever recorded. So it is completely safe for every human to use in any quantity. So you don't have to worry about overdosing or getting sick or anything. Only getting well. Now let's talk about some of the specifics. When you smell the dank, the diggity, the good stuff, when you can smell it across the room, or you're like, hey, what is that in the bag? You got hidden, blah, blah, blah. These are the terpenes, and they are the curatives. One of them, also the cannabinoids. But if you want to learn about the terpenes, this is a great article to get you started. There's something about the aroma of cannabis, and it soothes the mind and body. Whether it's the sweet, fruity taste of pineapple train wreck or the skunky smell that bursts from the cracked bud of sour D, we know there's something going on under their complex and flavorful bouquets. And it's called terpenes, guys. And this is the guide to terpenes. So there's pinene, alpha-pinene, which is excellent for alertness, memory retention, counteracting THC effects. It's used as an antidote for those idiots that come into town and smoke the super diggity and get all freaked out and call the police. They spray him in the mouth with pinene. Isn't that funny? The antidote for cannabis overdose is cannabis. So guys, don't go crazy and buy a 32% variety if you've never smoked. Start with a little Blue Dream or maybe Northern Lights. So pinene is badass. It cures asthma, inflation, ulcers, anxiety, and cancer. There's also myrcene, limonene, caryophyllene, linalool, humulene, osmine, terpinolene. It gives you the vaporized levels, the potential effects, and the medicinal values. Now let's get to the good stuff here. I'm going to leave you the PDF of the Rick Simpson protocol. This is by Rick Simpson and Gendrick Bear, The Cure for Cancer. If you've never heard of the Rick Simpson protocol and you heard about cannabis oil curing cancer, this is the document. Now, it's not CBD oil. Some people think it's the CBD oil that cures cancer. That may cure cancer, but CBD is just a single cannabinoid. The Rick Simpson protocol is producing Rick Simpson oil, which is a pure plant extract of the indica species of cannabis, which you blend together using a multi-plant approach with a full plant extract, and you create a perfect medicine. We need to do research on this, and this is just the beginning of it. It's a very long document, and the second half of the document is we'll give you links to how to find all of the people that have been cured. It tells you how to make Rick Simpson oil, how to dose it, how to cure different cancers, and it goes on and on. It is very specific. You usually have to pay for this, so you're welcome. I'll leave you the PDF. There's a more modern version, but this is the 2013 version, which is why I'm going to give it to you tonight. Very important piece of paper. Give it out to people that need it. K index is low, which means we're waiting on a very large earthquake, unfortunately. So buckle your seatbelts. And that's a boom. A bigger boom. Guys, thanks for watching the video. I hope you got something out of it. Please share this with like-minded people. Times are changing. Like this video, comment down below if you have a question. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't. And the most important thing is to share this video. We're being demonetized. Last night's video was demonetized. It's still 24 hours later demonetized. After you get 10,000 subscribers, they're supposed to review it within an hour. They're not doing that to our channel on purpose. Every time we get demonetized, it stays that way for over 24 hours. And then at the time everyone stops watching it, they demonetize again. So please support us by sharing all of our videos on your social media platforms so that the ones that are not demonetized can at least net us a few dollars. Thanks for watching. I want to thank our new subscribers, our new one-time contributors, Miles, our new Patreon, and all the rest. We love you. Be safe, everyone.